Okay, so what we want to do is use a new tool called the Content Aware Move tool. And this is a really great tool, and it's really helpful for when you have an object in a kind of complex background like this fence, for example. And if you wanted to move it from one spot to another, you can use this tool, and you can also extend this complex background. I can extend this fence, and that's what I'm going to do this time to stretch it out over to this edge. Let me hop out of the tutorial just for a second to show you how this works, and then we'll get back into the project. So here's a quick illustration of the difference. So I'm going to select an area here, this set of windows, and go to my Content Aware Move tool. Now, if I choose Extend, when I move it, click the check mark, a Command Control D to deselect, it moves it, but it leaves the original. So that's Extend. If I change the option to Move, now when I move the window, I click the check mark, you can see it fills in the hole of the old one, and the new one lands where I put it. So let's hop back into our project and see how we can use this to extend the fence behind our lion. So the first thing we want to do is hide our horns, because we're not working with that layer. We need to play with this background layer. So I'm going to hide the horns and click on the background layer. I'm going to shrink up this panel too, just so we can see things in our layers panel a little bit easier. And now what we want to do is we're going to grab a selection, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit so I can see all of the edges here with my magnifying glass. I just hold Alt or Option and click once, and it zooms out for me. And then I'm going to grab a selection here, and I want to select from the fence kind of over to the whiskers. Now I see I got a couple whiskers here that extend into it, and that's okay. We actually want that to help with the next video, but we want to avoid getting it into the actual mane. So I'm going to kind of go right about here. And now that I have this area selected, I want to choose the proper tool. And it's here under all of our healing type tools. And we're going to choose this Content Aware Move. We want to make sure that we are in extend mode. And we're going to just click on this area and drag it over here to our area that was blank and let go. And at this point, we just need to click our commit button. And there it is, already perfectly filled in. I'm going to do Command D to deselect, Control D on the PC, and check it out. You can't see the line of where my selection was. Now what I do see as I zoom in just a little bit is I see I got the whiskers. Here are the whiskers here, and they got copied over here. I could fix that with just using the spot healing brush, but there's another tool that I want to show you that's really cool and sometimes works a little bit better in certain circumstances. So if you got a bad effect from this, from the Content Aware Move tool, then just undo and try modifying these settings just a little bit. Up here, the structure and the color. And honestly, I've talked to a lot of people who use this tool all of the time, and they have some general rules that they follow, but bottom line is they just say, you know, if it doesn't work, draw the selection again, change these options a little bit, and try it and see if it gets better or worse. If it gets worse, then change whatever settings you changed, change them in the opposite direction, and try again. So it's really just a matter of sort of experimenting and getting experience with this tool, and then you'll get better at kind of figuring it out. You'll also see that you've got a couple options here where you can sample all layers. So if I had blended elements in here, and I choose this option, and I had multiple objects from multiple layers, it grabs a picture of everything I can see, and it will move that as well. We only have one layer, so we don't need that. I'll turn it off, but that can be a helpful way to work. So I'm going to get this back to filling my screen. There we go. I'm going to turn my horns back on, and look at that. A real horned lion. I can tell he's real because he's in a cage. That's where they always put magic creatures, because they got to study them and stuff. So anyway, the only problem we have left are these couple whiskers. We're going to talk about how to solve that in the next video.